Hi, everyone. I want to call to order the annual business meeting of the National Forum. For those who I haven't met yet, I'm Laura Gordon. I'm this is the board chair for this past year. I'm about to hand over the gavel. And as some who do know me know, the gavel has been a great sense of comfort and enjoyment this year. So Kim's going to have to rip it out of my hands, but we'll make it happen. We'll get a symbolic gavel. Well, anyway, welcome to the meeting. I have been really enjoying the morning. The discussions have been amazing. It is such a joy to see the engagement and the connections that people make at this meeting. I think the size is perfect. The people we bring together are, all the right people. I love the multi-stakeholder approach. It's something that really attracted me to the National Forum when I began. So with that, I'll call to the meeting to order. We will not do a roll call because through our registration process, we know exactly who's here, so thank you for that. And we'll start with our consent agenda. We have one action, which is to approve the 2018 annual business meeting minutes, which were handed out on the table, and I'm sure everyone has read word for word. And if you haven't, we'll take a moment now to watch you read those. Okay, kidding. But I will ask if anyone does have any comment or corrections or any adds or anything, any comments to the minutes. I will give us a moment for anyone who does. And if not, I will ask that I will basically state we don't have to take a vote on that since the consent agenda. We'll take the action of approving those minutes then. Okay. We'll move on now. We'll start with John Clymer, who will give us the Executive Director's report.
Thank you. So many of you in the room know that one of the National Forum's key programs is called Moveth the Mayor. It's based on a strategy of engaging mayors not only as health promoters and particularly of physical activity, but also as change leaders and change drivers in their communities at the community level, as accelerators of the prevention agenda in their communities. So we had a goal this year of engaging 12 mayors across the country in Moveth the Mayor. It's a program that started with one city and has been growing, and instead of 12, we had 18 this year actively involved. You can see other numbers related to the effort. We had tremendous involvement by these mayors. We had a second goal of collecting baseline data from at least 2 cities so that we can measure the impact of the program and see what having mayors as advocates and nudges for sitting less and moving more, what impact that would have, and also what impact they as drivers of policy and environmental change can have in their cities. So we're happy that the city of Green Bay participated with us, collaborated with us, and we updated the impact report that we did on Green Bay a little over a year ago in collaboration with CDC, and they are continuing to, as Mike Kropp said on the last panel, to see really positive health trends and to outperform in terms of health metrics both the state of Wisconsin population and the national population. Additionally, we have obtained baseline data for a number of different measures from West Chicago, Illinois, whose mayor is very involved, and other community players, stakeholders very involved in Moveth the Mayor, and they're focused on preventing and reducing childhood obesity. So the measures there all connect to that. And all of these things ladder up to the National Forum strategic imperative to, number one, set our own programmatic agenda, to do that proactively, and then second, to be a thought and change leader. The other major program that the National Forum itself pursues or leads is the Value and Access Initiative. And this is, many of you in the room, you and your organizations are involved in this, so it's familiar to you. This was undertaken in response to requests by National Forum members to create a path for different organizations to get onto the playing field, get engaged in the debate over value and access issues, and not just to add their voices to it in a constructive way, but to be part of something that would change the conversation in a positive way and achieve outcomes. So we have done that in the first 3 years of this initiative. I want to acknowledge Amgen for providing the funding that enabled us to start the Value and Access Initiative. I want also to acknowledge Santa Fe Regeneron, who have come on in support of that initiative. Without that support, you can't save the world if you can't pay the rent, right? So that's crucial to our having impact. We are bringing together patients, providers, payers and purchasers, public health, and pharma and biotech, all at the same table, level playing field. And the people who are there are saying things like, where's Norm? Did Norm step out for a moment? Norm Linsky said, wow, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've never been part of a conversation where people from some of these other silos are being so candid and so honest about their agendas. And we've established trust through these conversations, reached consensus on different goals. We provided input and feedback to ICER, the Institute for Clinical and Economic Review, that they've actually acted upon. Not all of it, but some, and changed some of the inputs into their models in ways that have, we think, increased access for patients. So this has been a successful program. It continues now. We're at an inflection point right now where we're moving from having accomplished the early goal of getting everybody doing a level set, getting everybody to play nicely together, and changing the environment within this ecosystem so that people can get out of the finger pointing mode and into collaboration and working together to accomplish change. And now the Value and Access Steering Committee will be voting or choosing in the next 8 weeks priority actions, the priority agenda for the next 18 months. And I think you'll see that initiative addressing policy change, both capital P and small p. So this program, success, and we're building upon the success. One of our performance metrics for it is to produce a white paper chronicling how this group came together and what's been accomplished over the first 2.5 years. We are behind on that. I'm going to report we're behind on the timeline on that. Happily, we're behind because there was so much involvement, so much engagement in developing the white paper by all of the stakeholders around the table. So I think when people are willing to do that kind of heavy lifting, it's a good indicator that they're leaning in. So we're very pleased to have that. Dr. Jones, our Secretary-Treasurer, will be giving the Treasurer's report. So suffice to say, the National Forum is in the black. You have data attesting to that on the table. You can judge for yourself. And we're growing. Our resources are growing. So thank you to those in the room who are helping to make that possible. That concludes the Executive Director's report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I met you earlier. I'm Warren Jones, and I have to share with you that a friend of mine at a national meeting said, we brought in some money, we spent some money, and we've got some left, and he sat down. I am not going to do that today. Okay. Do I advance it here, John? Yes. Okay, good. If you I will not read to you, but I would invite you to peruse what's on the screen. And we've provided for you comparisons between last year and this year. And it's a good indicator of where we are, and also to support the point that John made about the fact that we're moving well and we're growing. If you look at our balance sheet comparisons, our net assets comparisons, and our revenues, projected revenues, I need you to understand one thing, though, is that a snapshot of our revenue, our income, does not accurately tell the whole story, because different funds come in at different times during the year, depending upon the cycles of our members and when they pay. But that's why we take a look at a year instead of a snapshot during that actual period. But we wanted you to be able to see those things and be aware of them. This is our current balance sheet as of October 23rd, reflecting that we've got a total of about 480,000+ in the bank. And one of the things that we've tried to do was to make sure that we had at least 3 to 6 months of operating capital on hand in the event that there was a problem with anything coming in. And we just learned last night we've got 8 months, is it, John? 7 months. 7 months of operating capital on hand. And that's testimony to the management of the staff, of being able to use the resources in an appropriate manner, make only the essential decisions, document what has been done, and to also work to generate new sources of revenue. Okay. The one thing I think you would like to make sure that you can take back to the leaders of your organizations, if it's not you, is to say that we're dealing with an organization that are good stewards of our dollars, because that's what we all have the task to do each and every time. And the question that I'll move acceptance of the treasurer's report, and pending a second, I will be happy to answer any questions. Okay. Any questions from anyone? If not, then any opposition? Is there any opposition? Absent any opposition, we'll declare that the treasurer's report is accepted and retained for file and review. Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you, Warren. And thank you for yourself being a good steward of our money and our reports. Next, we have nominations. So we have some really interesting and exciting new folks to introduce, as well as renewal of 2 current members of the board that we propose. So first, I'll start with, we have the nominating committee, the executive committee acting as nominating proposes the following slate. And I'll start with Warren Jones, who you've just heard from. Warren is Medical Director of Provider Services. We have a proposal for one of our newest board members, who is Rosemary McGillen, Rosie. She is EVP and partner. She serves as global purpose practice lead at Porto Novelli. We, as John discussed at our board meeting yesterday, I used to be the communications representative. I was at Edelman for 22 years and really enjoyed being able to provide counsel in that vein. But as outgoing chair, I'll have 1 more year on the board. But we really, John sought hard to identify someone new who could provide that really valuable input. So we've got Rosie on the roster here. Celeste Phillip is a current board member. She is now health officer in Sonoma County for the Department of Health Services. As you might imagine, she was not able to be here with us today because they have the fires. And so she is neck deep in working with the health department there, where she's been there, 3 to 6 months. Celeste has been a wonderful and valuable board member to date. So we're proposing a renewal of her term. We have Dr. Ileana Pina. Dr. Pina has been involved with the National Forum for several years. I've worked with her on a couple of key programs. She is a professor of medicine at Wayne State University, a heart failure expert in particular, and we are very, very excited that she is interested in being part of our board. I think will be a very valuable addition. And then we have Dr. Carol Watson, who's professor of medicine and cardiology at UCLA, who would also be a new member for our board. So with that, I need a motion and vote. So could I get a motion to nominate this slate of directors? Thank you, Mike. And could I get a second? Thank you, Darwin. Yes.
Could you have to change that
Did I-
provider resources, not provider services?
Noted, provider resources, not services. So noted. Thank you. Great. Do we have any discussion? Great. Well, we're really looking forward to that. So with that, I will ask for a quick vote. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, great. So our slate passes. In addition, yesterday the Board of Directors confirmed the following board officer positions. So Kim Stitzel will be our incoming chair starting today with the passing of the gavel. Celeste Phillip will be vice chair. Warren Jones has graciously agreed to serve once for another term as secretary treasurer. And then I will automatically transition from chair to immediate past chair. And with that, I will introduce John. We have the National Forum Awards to award.
All right. Well, the awards, the National Forum Awards give us an opportunity to recognize people who serve not only their organizations and contribute to the National Forum, but who serve the public and our country in our quest to eliminate cardiovascular health disparities, to prevent heart attacks, prevent strokes, and achieve health equity. So it's a real privilege to recognize these individuals and organizations who have made, in our view, extraordinary and momentous contributions toward those goals. So the first award that we will make is the National Forum Heart Healthy Stroke Free Award. And this is presented to an individual whose great work embodies the recommendations of the National Public Health Action Plan to prevent heart disease and stroke. We are pleased this year, excited, to present this award to Norm Linsky, the recently retired CEO of Mended Hearts, and I think many of us have had the opportunity to work with Norm over the years and know that he's been a tremendous leader and continues to be very passionate about our work. So Norm, I think, slipped out. So it, like, slipped out? Well, okay. We'll get Norm when he comes back. All right. So everybody, keep it under your hat. Norm doesn't know about it. Hilly Page lured Norm in to this meeting unawares, so it's a secret, right? Cone of silence. All right. Our second award, the Heart Healthy Stroke Free Award for an organization, goes to the Ohio State University College of Nursing for exceptional leadership and collaboration to carry out the National Public Health Action Plan to prevent heart disease and stroke. And we have its dean, Bern Melnick, here to accept. Laurel, you should come up too.
Laura, oh, come on.
Yeah, come on in, Laura.
Great, that's a nice surprise.
Well, good. Hey, you're welcome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well deserved. Well deserved. The next award is the Public Policy Award, and the individual who we chose this year is truly a global leader in health policy, helping countries across the globe on different continents use policy tools and levers to reduce the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, to reduce sodium consumption, to overall improve nutrition, and to stimulate more physical activity. Unfortunately, our recipient just returned from China where he picked up some bug, and so he's not able to be with us. So we will find an appropriate time in the near future when we can make the presentation to Dr. Barry Popkin at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill School of Public Health. The Public Policy Award for an organization goes this year to the American Heart Association for its leadership in passing healthy kids meal legislation across the United States that reduces health risks associated with sugar-sweetened beverage consumption. So Jill Birnbaum, please come accept on behalf of AHA. Actually, the whole AHA team, everybody from AHA is here. Come on up. You need to be in the middle. You're receiving.
We're just the eye candy.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks, John. Thank you very much.
Good speech. We've, as you can see, we've learned a lesson from the Oscars, and the length of our acceptance speeches is a bit briefer than theirs. Yeah, we keep it rolling. The next award is the National Forum Commitment Award. It's given to an individual who has made outstanding contributions to the National Forum, someone from outside the organization, but who over the years has made really important and valuable contributions to the health and sustenance and impact of the National Forum. And this year, we're very excited to present it to Miriam Patanian from the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors. Come on up.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our final award goes to, it's the Chair Recognition Award, so selected by our chair, Laura Gordon, and it goes to an individual who has contributed just extraordinary leadership to a number of different initiatives, most notably in recent times, the Value and Access Initiative, where he's a member of the steering committee. And the recipient this year is Ben Blummel from the American Pharmacists Association Foundation. Unfortunately, Ben had a last-second travel snag in getting here from Kansas City, so he's unable to be here in person. Ben, I hope you're seeing this on the live stream, and we appreciate all of your efforts and congratulate you on this award. So when we finish this, we need everybody who's received an award to come forward for a group photo. We now have one more to give. Kim, you want to join me, please? So our last award is really a tribute to our outgoing board chair. And this has been, in my view, this is my 7th year, maybe 8th, with the National Forum. And many of you have been actively involved even longer than I have, so you know the evolution of the National Forum. We've gone from becoming fully independent, freestanding 7 years ago, through then survival mode into growth mode, and now we're at a point where in the last year we've seen programmatic impact and engagement by different members, new stakeholders, new members joining, and all of that I attribute to the sharp focus that Laura has led and held all of us on the staff team accountable for carrying out. Sharp focus on not only a few programs where we truly can make a difference, but also measuring their impact. So there's accountability and proof of the principle, and then helping us communicate much better what we do as an organization. So for me, it's been really a treat. It's been challenging. Laura's tough in a great way. So it's been challenging to work with Laura as the chair for the past year, and we're grateful, Laura, for your service and your leadership to the National Forum.
Stand in the middle.
You stand in the middle.
Present.
All right.
Like, do I drop it? Thank you.
And we have in addition to the plaque, we have a little token of our gratitude to Laura for her many years of service on the board.
I don't think I've ever been called tough, so this is a very exciting moment.
Even by your kids?
Maybe by me.
All right. Okay. Madam Chair,
Oh, there you
the
go.
podium is yours.
So one other thing I just wanted to thank Laura for, many of you may not realize she also took on the role as a new CEO while she was taking on the chairship as well. So I think that's extraordinary leadership to not only invest in the forum, which we've served together for the last 6-7 years, but as well as starting a new career path. Leading a newish nonprofit organization. And so I think we all really just owe a tremendous amount of thanks to Laura for doing that while doing the chairmanship at the same time as taking on a new role with a new company. So thank you so much, Laura. And frankly, the reason I agreed to be chair was because you were in the previous role. So with that, I have only one thing to do other than thank you. Is there any new business that we would like to, am I introducing all the incoming leadership or? Oh, so then the role, and the only thing is then to say, is there any new business that we'd like to introduce for the forum today? And if not, then we will close the business leadership meeting and we'll ask everyone to come up for their pictures. Then history has repeated itself. There's no new business, and we will close the meeting. Thank you so much.